hear it for the great Mr. Hunt.
What's going on YouTube? This is Just My Opinion, and today I will be reviewing Linkin Park's album, Hybrid Theory. Now, Linkin Park is a nu metal and rap rock group out of California who just recently put out a new album. Yeah, I refuse to listen to it. Their music has basically gone down the shitter for me, especially ever since their album Minutes to Midnight. Ever since then, their music has just been... I used to be a really big fan of these guys back when I was 10 years old, and they really broke out back in 2000 and were a huge influential group from 2000 to around the late 2000s. And this album was one of the reasons why. Certified Diamond. This isn't the first time we've seen rap and rock collide. Groups like Limp Bizkit and Rage Against the Machine were also doing this before or around the same time. But Linkin Park to me was in a completely different class of their own. And you could definitely hear it right from the get-go with the first song, Paper Cut, a standout track of mine, one of my favorite Linkin Park songs. Definitely is very up-tempo and has some very heavy metal riffs on the choruses of the song. Very nice sound effects and scratching effects as well. And Mike, who is the one vocalist who raps, he was rapping the verses and his flow was pretty dope. He was talking about the voices inside his head holding him back. With the different effects that were layered onto his vocals, it definitely made it sound almost like there was a second voice in the song as well, and kind of almost like two separate identities. And Chester, the other singer, he typically sings. He sang the chorus and the bridge of the song, and the bridge to me was absolutely beautiful on this song. Definitely a standout track of mine on the album. We then get One Step Closer, another great song on the album. My 10-year-old self still gets fucking jacked up every time I hear this song. I don't know why. It's just fantastic. Chester is mostly singing this song about his impatience, I guess you could say, with people. And it definitely shows his vocal range very well on this song as well. He starts off kind of soft to eventually just flat out screaming on the bridge of the song. You then get With You, which is a song that mixes hip-hop and electronic music very, very great, but very subtly as well. The hook, of course, of the song is a little bit heavier with its metal influences, and then the verses are kind of quieter, a little bit more subtle. Different electronic sounds and metal riffs are kind of reverbed out on the verses to give kind of a certain atmosphere while Mike is rapping over the production. And then Chester and Mike kind of bounce off each other again on the hook of this song, which is something that I think that they used to do very, very well. I used to love when they would bounce off of each other as far as sharing hooks, sharing choruses, sharing bridges, even sometimes sharing verses as well. Then from here we get Points of Authority, which is perhaps my favorite song on the album. Wasn't always my favorite song, but as of lately, the more and more I kind of come back to the project, the more and more I really enjoy this song for what it is. I just think that what makes this song so amazing to me is just the way that the production variates and the way that the song kind of variates throughout, how it's layered so well with all the different elements in the song. Chester, I think, does an amazing job on the chorus, as well as the verses too, of the song. I think he does an outstanding job singing. I love the electronic elements kind of towards the end of the song with the scratching and the way that the production kept varying up made it very glitchy. I still to this day love and remember Mike's breakdown on the song. Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame. Cover up your face. You can't run the race. The pace is too fast. You just won't last. Dope as shit. And then from here we get the song Crawling, which is another standout track of mine. It's one of the moodier tracks on the album. It features kind of like these very chilling electronic synths in it, and some very atmospheric production, reverb production throughout the verses of the song. Chester is mostly singing on this song, and he's at his most vulnerable, or one of his most vulnerable moments on this entire album. This song is basically all about Chester trying to break away from his crystal meth addiction. It's very chilling but powerful track at the same time, and I still love this song. Then we get Runaway, which is another great song on the album. This song, production wise, kind of has like these watery, swirly electronic synths and sounds throughout the verses of the song. And it kind of almost sounds like both Mike and Chester with the song title, they want to run away and open up their mind. That's what they say in the chorus. And it sounds like they're kind of trapped within the verses of the song with the watery, electronic-y, swirly sounding synths. It kind of feels like they're kind of stuck in this whirlpool. And then in the chorus, it just breaks into this heavy chorus where it sounds like they're trying to break free. From here, we get the song By Myself, which to me is still perhaps one of the weakest moments on the album for me. Still not a bad song, but definitely not one of my favorites and one of the weaker moments on the album. I think that Mike rapping on this song actually had one of his slowest flows throughout the entire album. The thing that kind of killed me with this song is like the pre-chorus of the song where Chester is kind of like screaming and we get kind of like this very screechy electronic effect in the background. To me, that was kind of off-putting, but I actually think that the actual chorus of the song where Chester is just singing sounds very beautiful. You then get the song In the End, which of course is one of their most popular, most well-known songs to date. This is what really introduced the group to a lot of people, including myself. It has some very nice pianos throughout it, and it has a nice hip-hop electronic groove. Mike is rapping on the verses, and I think his flow is pretty dope. And I thought that the effects throughout his voice also very outstanding. This is all about time wasted on a relationship. I kind of like how Chester's vocals kind of slowly but progressively build. He starts off as kind of like a background vocalist in Mike's verses, and then he builds into the chorus where then he kicks in and sings the chorus. Very well put together song, and of course one of their most popular songs still to date, if not their most popular song. The next song we get on this is A Place for My Head, which used to be one of my favorite songs on the album. I used to think that this was like one of the coolest songs I ever heard when I was like 10 years old. I love the guitar riffs throughout the verses of the song, as well as the bass groove and the scratches. Mike on this song is rapping with one of his fastest flows, I think, on the entire album, and his flow was dope. I like the meaning behind the song about people manipulating each other. You get Chester singing on the chorus. We also get him kind of screaming on the bridge. With all the screaming that Chester does throughout this, you could even kind of say that they have elements of emo music as well, and really kind of help build the emo genre up as well. I like how towards the end of the song, we have Chester screaming layered with Mike rapping together, and together I think it sounds really, really dope. We then get the song Forgotten, which has some very mellow, intoxicating production on the verses. We also get Mike rapping on the verses again. Again, some of his slower flows, and then it builds into Chester and Mike bouncing off of each other on the pre-chorus, which I love. Chester is actually kind of rapping the pre-chorus with Mike on this song, which is something that we didn't see on this album yet. Overall, this again was one of my favorite songs growing up as a kid. It's not necessarily my favorite of theirs now, maybe one of the weaker moments on the album, but still a good track nonetheless. From here, we then get Cure for the Itch, which is another standout track of mine on the album. Really, really love this song. Another one of my favorite Linkin Park songs of all time, but it's just an instrumental piece. It's actually a full instrumental piece that was produced by the DJ of the group, Mr. Han. It features a lot of really dope hip-hop and electronic elements, kind of glitchy. Has some really, really dope scratching, as well as the breakbeat on it. The breakbeat is dope. And then it kind of slowly builds into a kind of a moodier sounding instrumental with kind of a orchestra, strings section in the background, and a really, really beautiful piano. It's really all layered so well, so beautifully. I just get lost in the music. I love zoning out to the song. We then get Pushing Me Away as the closer to the standard edition of the album, which I think was a good way to close the album off. It features kind of Linkin Park's most alternative rock sounding production on it and less metal, a little bit more alternative rock. And Chester on this song singing is at his least raspy on this song, and he actually has a very beautiful singing voice when he's not as raspy. Now there also are 2 bonus tracks on the deluxe version of the album, one of them being High Voltage, which is actually a Mike solo track, which is the most hip-hop oriented sounding track in the entire track listing of the album. Very good instrumental to it. I love the breakbeat instrumental in it, and I love the pianos on it. I like the choir sound towards the end of the track, and Mike's flow is dope on it, and his wordplay on this is probably the best wordplay on the entire album. And I also like his little interview piece that he has, kind of talking about how there shouldn't be a label put on their music, and they're not the first rap rock group or the first group to kind of fuse these genres together, which is very true, but I think that they were definitely one of the more influential groups. Then we get also My December, which is basically a Chester solo track. Definitely the softest song on the entire track. Chester's vocal delivery is the softest and the most moody. I love the pianos on this song, but it's the version that was on the Reanimation album that they put out a year or 2 after Hybrid Theory for My December that is actually my favorite Linkin Park song of all time, hands down. Absolutely love it. It's very melodic, it's very glitchy and atmospheric, a lot of electronic sounds going on in it, and to me, it's just absolutely beautiful the way that it was all put together. So in conclusion, I definitely do think that this is a great, great album. Loved this album when I was 10. It still sounds great today. I definitely consider this to be a classic within the genre of nu metal and rap rock. It didn't seem like it, but at the time they were really pushing the sounds sonically and experimenting sonically as far as what you could do as far as just overall production wise and blending genres in the new millennium. If this is not their best work of all time, some people do like Meteora over this album, but this is definitely their best sales wise of all time, their most recognizable album, their most well-known album, most popular album, and it was their first debut album. They really introduced the world to this new style, which sounded very futuristic at the time, but didn't try too hard to sound very futuristic or very trendy, whereas now with their newer music, it's the complete opposite. They're trying too hard to go for this futuristic electronic-y sound, and they're trying too hard to be trendy, and it just does not work. This is the ground that they set, and they just have not been able to live up to it, especially, in my opinion, after the Minutes to Midnight album. So, overall, I give this album a 9 out of 10. This is just my opinion, and thank you for watching, YouTube.